What's up, Lantern TV? My name is Casey Smith, alongside our sports editors Jack Emerson and Jacob Benge. Guys, Ohio State came away with an 82-46 victory in their exhibition against Indianapolis tonight, a game that Chris Holtmann said he just wanted to see guys knock the rust off and something along those lines. I think some of the guys that really stepped up and did that, Jacob, were Meechie Johnson, Eugene Brown, and Zed Key, three young guys who really are starting to see increased roles from a season ago.
Yeah, you're exactly right, Casey. And, I think back to about 8 minutes to go in the first half where Eugene Brown just leapt forward, intercepted the pass, and took two dribbles before he just slammed down the dunk, hung on the rim, and just, our photographer, Mackenzie Shanklin, got a terrific photo of him just almost sideways in the air. And, he led all scorers with 15 points. Eugene Brown a season ago, you could definitely see the learning curves in his game. Things that, he had to work on over the offseason. A guy like Zed Key, as you mentioned, is also a sophomore. And you could see Zed maybe looked a little bit further developed than Eugene. But, tonight, you could see Eugene had a lot of confidence and a lot of just trust in his ability. And he wrote a hot hand, too. So that definitely comes into play. As you mentioned, Meechie also had 12 points. And really, those three together made up 36 points of Ohio State shooting, 5 of 9 for Zed, and then Eugene goes 6 for 7, 3 of 4 from deep. So it looks good so far for the young guys. And I know Chris Holtmann, as you mentioned, hinges this Buckeyes team on veteran and age. So if he can find that balance between veteran and youth, Ohio State's going to look good here when they start the season there in November.
Yeah, Jack, another thing Chris Holtmann mentioned was the perimeter shooting and how this team, they've always been big on the three, especially with Dwayne Washington and Justin Ahrens in the years past, just being able to pop it from behind the arc. Not so much tonight. It was a little bit of a struggle there. Just what did you see from them on that front?
I think at the start of the game, you kind of saw them rushing shots. I think they were a little too focused on getting threes more so than finding the good looks. But I think you really did see some encouraging things, Justin Ahrens came out, he nailed his first shot, then he missed his next 6, and then he hit the first one to start the second half. But I think you see guys who typically don't shoot threes taking more threes. I think that shows you what they're going to kind of focus on in the offseason, what they're kind of focusing on going into the regular season. Zed Key shot a 3 tonight. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
But I think you did see some good things from the perimeter. Malachi Branham, he shot 5, which I think is an encouraging thing for a freshman to be aggressive from that range. And then, as Jacob mentioned, Eugene, he shot lights out. He shot 3 or 4 from 3. So I think going forward, you're going to see these guys develop that shot, maybe finding that shot more in rhythm rather than forcing it, which we saw tonight. But, I think going forward, it's going to be a big point of emphasis for this offense.
Yeah, and it's funny, Jack. Chris Holtmann, he said he wanted to see E.J. Liddell take a couple more threes. He thought he was a little bit too tentative there. He's definitely going to be the leader of this offense. He scored 12 points on sort of a quiet night, as Chris Holtmann said. We didn't get a question in the postgame until the very last question. So, sort of flying under the radar there, and just still a productive night from E.J. Liddell. Just sort of a little bit passive from the field, but I think he'll figure it out. And you'll be able to catch all that with the Lanterns coverage. And for Jacob, Jack, and myself, we'll be covering the game against Akron at the Schottenstein Center November 9th as the Buckeyes take on the Zips. Until then, take care.